Hello you. Welcome to my channel.
Today on Ian's Provisions, we are going to start the second step of our soap making process and render beef fat into a pure form called tallow, which will make a long-lasting hard bar of soap. A lot of times people will do this on the stovetop or in a crock pot, but today I'm going to do it on a 2-burner stove outside. Our propane burner serves multi-purposes. We can use it for canning, we can take it camping, my husband can use it for brewing, or we can use it for soap making. So get your drink and let's go outside. So here is the equipment that we have. We've got our beverage, our beef fat that we chopped last week. We have our 8-quart stock pot, a stainless steel spoon, our burner, our mini multi-purpose burner, 2 quart-sized jars. Once the beef fat is rendered, I will strain it in this bowl with this large strainer, and a lot of times people will use muslin and wash it after the beef fat goes through there, but I like to use an old cut up t-shirt so I can throw it away afterwards. Makes it a lot easier. So the first thing you want to do is add a very thin layer of beef fat to the bottom of the pot. Once the beef fat begins to melt, it will create a thin layer of liquid fat, and that will keep the fat from sticking and scorching at the bottom. You want to turn your heat to low or medium so the fat will melt slowly. Do you see the thin layer of fat at the bottom? And do you see how my scarf is getting scorched? We're gonna let that cook down for several minutes, and then we'll add some more. This is one of the reasons why we render beef fat, is because there are small pieces of meat in the fat, and we want pure tallow, which is rendered beef fat, not steak. Okay. Once the liquid fat gets to the top of the beef chunks, you want to add more fat. A cup or a cup and a half of the fat. And keep stirring until the liquid fat again gets to the top of the beef chunks. Just as a side note, you don't need an 8-quart stock pot to do this. Whatever pot you have, just use what you have, just like the t-shirt. You don't need muslin. Just get an old t-shirt and cut it up, and then you can throw it away. When you're adding the beef fat, make sure you add it slowly, because obviously the grease is hot and it does splash up on you. So just be careful when you're adding it. know that as you are adding the fat, the process gets quicker. And so if you want to turn up your heat a little bit, that's okay. Here we go, the last of it. So now you want to stir, and you want your cracklings to turn a golden color, not dark brown, but just a golden color. And this will take several minutes to do that. As I mentioned before, you could do this inside, especially if you have a vent, or you could do it in the crock pot, but I like to do it outside just because I don't want my house smelling like beef fat. It's fine if it does, but I would prefer it to not. That's why we do it outside on a propane burner. Look how the cracklings are turning just a little bit browner, but they're not quite ready. It's getting golden brown. This process took between 30 and 40 minutes, and our cracklings are brown. And so now we're going to head into the kitchen to pour our hot oil into our jars. Here are our golden cracklings, and we came inside because one thing that you never want to do is pour very hot oil into cold jars, and our jars were getting cold outside, so we wanted to come in to prevent them from breaking. So now I'm going to pour the oil to strain the cracklings from the fat. And again, be careful because the oil is so hot that you don't splash yourself. Some people like to eat these, like my videographer. One thing you can do after you strain it is to squeeze your t-shirt or whatever you have. Have a trash can or something nearby so you can just dump this right into the trash can. Oh dear, about to lose it. Okay, ready? No. Ready? Okay. Oh, so pretty. Once you have strained your oil, and now it's called tallow, rendered beef fat is tallow, you want to pour it into your mason jars. You don't have to have one of these funnels, it just makes it easier to pour in case you splash some out. So we're going to pour these into our quart size mason jars and see how much we get. So that equals 2 quart size jars. You only need one of those to make a small batch of soap. A couple of options you have once you pour your oil into your jars is you can put the lids on while they're hot, and if the jars seal, that's very important, if they seal, then you can leave them out. I've left them out for several months and they have been fine. If they don't seal, you can leave them out for a little bit, maybe a week or two, or you can put them in the refrigerator. If you choose to put them in the freezer, make sure that you don't fill them all the way up, but fill them to about right here, because again, you don't want your jars to break. I am going to leave mine out even if they don't seal. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you click on the next link to our day of soap making. It is going to be fun and it's going to be easy. How big is this?
I don't
8
know.
quart. Okay. Oh, that's looking good.
Yeah, I don't eat those.
Yes, you have.
A lot? Did I eat a whole bunch of them, or
You
just?
ate them and you liked them.
Maybe they were seasoned.
No, they weren't. They were right out of the pot.